Avengers Endgame. Yes, it's finally here. It's this weekend. Everybody's going to go out and see it. So let's talk about it. All right, guys. So Avengers Endgame. It's here, and people have been waiting for this for a whole year since Infinity War. I got to tell you this straight up. It's a journey. And this review is going to be a journey because it has a lot of ups and downs. I mean, at first, it seems like I really loved it, and there's going to be times where you're going to think, well, I didn't really like it, and you're not sure what to make of it. And it's sort of like that, the movie in a nutshell. It has that feeling to it where it's like, I love what I'm seeing. I love this. But then when you think about it afterwards, did I love it? And it's going to be confusing for people. And I don't want to mislead people. It is one of the better movies of the year. It is, by hands down, a must-see. It is a must-see in the theater. You have to go out and see it for the spectacle of all these characters on the big screen. And it's just a wrapping up of this segment of MCU movies. There. That's it. That's kind of like the way it's going to go. See, that's like the expectations. That's what you know going in, right? And that's the way I felt. When I first set out to start seeing the trailers and stuff for this, I was like, okay, I'll watch all the trailers, I'll do the reactions, but I don't really want to watch a lot of the TV spots, and I don't want to read a whole bunch of pre-reviews. Like, that will still get some spoilers, because if somebody gives you the expectations that, yeah, it was really awesome, then that gives you that expectation. And I didn't want that feeling. I avoided as much as I could. And I talk about that in my vlog for next week. You'll see that. I had really high expectations because I did like Infinity War, and I couldn't wait to see where this story was going to wrap up. And it does wrap things up. And that's the way I felt just going into it. So, yeah. If you don't know, the way I do reviews quickly here is I'll give you my quick expectations like I just did, and now I'm going to give you my initial response, and then I'll break it down with my full review, non-spoiler review, and I'll give it the ranking, and then I'm going to tell you about halfway through this video that this is where I'm going to be talking about spoilers, and I will address spoilers because I don't want to put out 2 reviews, and I don't want to go through all that hassle. This is a small enough channel that I can do that. All right, so with that hype and all that expectations built up for this movie, Avengers Endgame, that's the way I felt going into the theater. That's the way that I was set up. And here is my initial response. It's not perhaps what you were thinking. Here we go. All right, guys, I want to give you guys my initial response to this movie. I got out of the theater and I wanted to feel excited. I want to feel hyped. I wanted to feel blown away. And I am kind of blown away, but I'm not happy like I was at the end of Black Panther, or Captain America Civil War. I just don't have that wow factor. It's just a lot to take in. There was no moment in it where you were like, you remember in Infinity War when Thor came down and everybody cheered, and you felt that one moment where you're like, yeah! This was not kind of like that. Endgame wasn't like that. And I wanted to feel it here, man. There were so many things that happened in this movie that I should have felt it here. And I wanted to feel the full emotion of it. I didn't. And that's a bummer. It's a bummer. I wanted to say that this was my favorite movie of the year. Like, this is a 10 out of 10. That's what I wanted to say. I wanted to say that this was a 10 out of 10. And I can't. I can't. And it's a real bummer. I just have to let it sit for a while. I have to let it marinate. I have to think about it. Because it feels almost hollow. I feel sad, almost. Sad. And I didn't want to feel like that at the end of watching an Avengers movie. So, yeah, just give me a night to sleep on it. Let me think about it, and I'll just tell you tomorrow. All right, so yes, I had my night to sleep on it, and one of the things that I found that was very therapeutic was that I came home and I started to watch other people's reactions and reviews to this. I actually wanted to embrace the fandom culture, because if I felt a little bit displaced by it, perhaps other people did too. And I found like that was very therapeutic. That loss, that sorrow feeling kind of went away because it helped talking to other people about the context of it. And upon watching other people's reviews and talking about what happened in the movie, it helped me, put it at a perspective. And thinking about it, yeah, this is a good movie. This has a lot of great things in it. The acting, for instance, is top-notch. More than just one person. Robert Downey Jr. does a good job. Scarlett Johansson does a great job. Chris Hemsworth does a great job. Chris Evans does a fantastic job in this movie. My God. It's just mind-blowing. The directing is good. The story, okay, that's what I want to address. I can understand that some people would have reservations about the length, and they would say, well, the first couple of hours are kind of slow-paced. But you know what? I actually liked the first couple of hours because it had a lot of sci-fi elements to it. They did a lot of explaining to some of the background of some characters and their setups. I really enjoyed that stuff. And then there was the last hour, which is the big payoff, where you get to see a lot of the action. Now, if you're somebody who's going into the theater wanting to see, okay, how did they defeat Thanos? How did they defeat Thanos? Then you might be one of those people where you'll be like, yeah, the first couple of hours are kind of slow. Just get to it already. But for me, I really enjoyed the first couple of hours. I thought that was the best part of the movie. The last, for me, I'm almost the opposite. It was kind of like that last hour of the movie just happened like this so fast. You just kind of had to throw in these little scenes just to catch people up with where they are, after things happen. So it's kind of like, it's a mishmash kind of thing. And it's kind of like these little sections of movie that are placed here and there. And that's what this movie is overall. It's hard to place it as one big piece, because there's a lot of small little stories happening side by side. Yeah, there you go. And if you can see it like that, I'm sure it'll have more value on repeat viewings, which this movie does have repeat viewings. The watchability factor in this is a full 2 points. You gotta watch it again, and you're definitely going to want to own it because it's epic. It's epic on so many scales. Okay. The cinematography is good at times. It's fantastic. It's first rate. Some of the CG work is actually, I didn't find any problems with the CG work. Other than some of the matte backgrounds, you can tell like the entire third act was shot on a green screen stage somewhere, but whatever. It's good. It's fine. What's happening is with the characters and how they're evolving and coming to a close. That's what's important. And that's where the major payoffs are. That's about it. That's the way I felt about this movie. I thought it was great. Where did it rank in my top 5 of the year? It definitely cracks my top 5 of the year, for sure. And I was looking at the list, and I was thinking about where I scored this movie overall. And I'm thinking, it is my number 1 movie of the year. Last night I was a little bit worried about it. I was thinking, no, it's not my number 1 movie. But it is. It has to be. It's just, it affected me so much that it does take the number 1 place. It is the number 1 movie of the year so far for me because I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about it and processing it. And that's what art is supposed to do. It's supposed to move you. It's supposed to change you. And that's what this does. So yeah, my number 1 movie of the year is Avengers Endgame as of now. And I can't say much more than that without spoiling some stuff. It's a must watch in the theater. All right. Talking about the score. Overall, I gave the movie, here's the score sheet, a 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10. And I didn't really feel like that when coming out of the theater. I almost gave it a 7 out of 10, guys. I almost did. But then watching other people's reviews, watching other people's reactions, it helped me embrace the fandom culture and realize that, oh, okay, it's okay, James. It's okay. It's okay to feel like this. That's what it was trying to do. And I was like, you're right. This is a good movie. It didn't make me feel happy and excited, and it almost feels a little bit hollow. But yeah, it's a 9 out of 10. It's a good movie. There we go. That's my spoiler-free section of this review for Avengers Endgame. I'm going to be talking about spoilers now, so if you guys don't want to hear spoilers, just click that little thumbs up button and subscribe. Hit that little bell thing too. I'm hearing a lot of things about this bell thing. It's screwing up with a lot of people's subscriptions, but whatever. Avengers Endgame, what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Did you feel the same way at times? It was just speechless. That's the way I felt. All right, that's it. Let's talk about some spoilers. This feeling like that awe, that sense of, do I like that? About halfway through, you realize that those theories that all the people that got dusted are coming back, and all the people that didn't get dusted are going to die. You got that feeling about halfway through, especially when Black Widow died. I didn't like that. I thought the way the story was set up, I thought Hawkeye was going to die because he had gone off and done so many bad things that it was kind of like he was going to accept it. But it took me off guard when she died, because I love Black Widow. I think she's a great character, and I of course I worship Scarlett Johansson. Now, it's not the end for her, because we know that there's another movie coming out, which is probably a prequel, but it was just that set the tone for the rest of the movie once that happened, because then you knew that, oh, okay, other deaths are probably going to happen, and you got to I was prepared for it then. I was like, okay, it's going to happen. They're going to get rid of Iron Man or Captain America, and of course it did. They did, and when Iron Man died, I was kind of like, it didn't hit me as much as I wanted it to, because maybe the Black Widow death softened me a little bit, but I wanted to really feel it, because Iron Man is one of my favorite heroes. He inspires me a lot, just because of his ability to think out of things. He's able to, take information and just utilize it to his best extent, to his abilities. It's just inspiring to me, and I really wanted it to have an impact. But as I said in my spoiler-free section, is that a lot of the stuff happens so quickly in the last hour. Like, people come back, okay, we have to have a scene of Peter Parker and Iron Man coming together again. We have to have a quick scene of Pepper and Iron Man. We have to have this happen, and these quick little interactions, and hey, you're back, kind of thing. And yeah, and it just felt like those felt rushed, but it may not on a second viewing. It may not. So it's a weird pacing kind of thing. And it's okay, because it doesn't take away from the film. It just it's jarring at times for the first viewing. Okay, what else? Captain America. I loved when they went back in time, especially to the 50s, and they saw Iron Man's dad. That was a cool sequence. And then Captain America is trying to hide from some people that were looking for him, some security guards, and he accidentally steps into Agent Carter's office, and he saw the writing on the door, and I saw it. I was like, oh no. And he turns around and he sees her through the glass. I was like, oh, that's poetry to me. That's poetry. It's such a beautiful shot. I thought that was amazing. And the way his story arc ends up, it wraps up, it was fantastic. I thought, like, that's okay. Like, yeah, that's the end of Captain America and Iron Man in these MCU movies. And at least Captain America got to go and be with his love. I thought that was fantastic. That was beautiful. But it was still sad because we probably will see Chris Evans maybe as cameos just here and there, flashes of him. But to know that this is the end of this version of Avengers is kind of like a little bittersweet. And you have to prepare yourself for it. I think afterwards it just has that feeling to where, am I happy about this? Am I happy? And that's the way I felt overall. And yeah, just talking to other people, watching other people's reviews, as I said before, it totally helps. It totally gives context to it. It validates some things. I really liked what they did with Thor, for instance. He is let himself go. When he goes back to Asgard, he sees Jane Foster or whatever, Natalie Portman. I thought that was cool. Oh, another cool cameo was Robert Redford. I thought he was done. That was cool to see him again. It was just really cool when they went back in time, and it was kind of like the time heist. It was really well done. But for me, the heart of it was the Clint Black Widow story. For me, that held the most weight because Scarlett Johansson did a fantastic job in this movie. Like, just the scenes of her trying to hold the Avengers together in the beginning, talking to people, holding meetings. Captain America comes to see her, and it's just beautifully done. It's beautifully acted, guys. What are the other spoilers? Okay, the way that he dies, I guess Thanos. When Captain America held the hammer, the Mjolnir or whatever, people in my theater that was like a cheering moment. That was beautiful. I liked that way that was handled. It almost upstaged the way that Captain Marvel came in, because she just flew in from the sky and destroyed Thanos' ship like that. And I guess that should have been the big cheering moment. But for me, I almost preferred the moment where there was like this ensemble shot of all the female superheroes coming together. I like that shot more than Captain Marvel coming in and destroying Thanos' ship like that. Which made me give a little bit of questions to some of the storyline, because, okay, she's powered by the Tesseract. She got her powers from the Tesseract, yet the Tesseract is part of the Infinity Glove. Shouldn't the glove be more stronger than her by default? I don't whatever. It's a minor quibble, and that's why I docked the story up the way that I did, and some of the directing. But it's just, wow. I like that shot with her fighting Thanos, and he punches her and it doesn't do anything. She just kind of looks up at him and it's like, yeah, were you expecting something? I like that part. The endings, the denouement. It ends with the funeral, Tony's funeral, and I thought that was a little bit somber. And it ends with Captain America giving the shield over to Falcon. I thought that was justified. I thought that was well done. I didn't think it should go to Bucky, because Bucky still has some issues that he's got to resolve. And then, yeah, it's just one of those movies you got to watch again. You have to go see it again. And I hopefully will on Cheap Tuesday. What did you guys think about this movie? Were there any spoilers that you wanted me to address? I'll address them in your comments below. I just think that this is a movie that is a must-see in the theaters. You have to go out and see it. For me, it's a 9 out of 10. It's the best movie of the year thus far, and yeah, you gotta see it, man. You gotta see this movie. All right, that's it. My name is James, and you're watching Mirror Domains. If you've liked what you've seen, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Oh, I really like Nebula. Nebula had a bigger role in this than I thought. And Karen Gillan, she did a fantastic job in carrying that. She did a fantastic job.